Hey, good day, everybody. Steve Przebrowski. Welcome to tip number 17 in the 101 Tips to Ace Your Promotional Examination series. So let's get going. As a reminder, my website, code3firetraining.com, has a free stuff link with lots of great promotional preparation, professional development, leadership, and training information, amongst many other fire service related stuff that'll benefit you as well as others that you want to share it with. So lots of great information on there. So as a reminder, my book, 101 Tips to Ace Your Promotional Exam, was recently published by Fire Engineering Books and Videos. You can go to fireengineeringbooks.com. And if you use in the green box down there, there's a code 101 Tips to get 25% off. And throughout the year, sometimes Fire Engineering sometimes does free shipping deals, sometimes even higher discounts. But again, check the website. And again, lots of other great books, not just this one. So tip number 17 is pretty much down and dirty. We've talked about a lot of different things to help prepare you mindset wise to get you in the right focus for preparing for that position. But one of the things that I see neglected a lot of times is an out of date resume and an application that's not ready to go. And you may go, what are you talking about? Well, think about this. When you got hired on the job, whenever that was, you probably had to submit an application and a resume. So think about it. If you're going for a promotional examination, you've probably been on the job a few years. Even to take an engineer's exam in most departments, you usually have to have 2, sometimes 3 years on the job just to even apply to be an engineer. Or let's say you want to be applying for, say, lieutenant or captain. In many departments, that could be 4 or 5 or 6 years. So if you think about it, you get hired, and I'll just use this for simplistic sake. You get hired in the year 2021. Well, now it's 2024, 3 years down the road, and you go, I want to take the engineer's exam, or I want to take the lieutenant's examination, whatever. Think about it. In that 3 years since you've been on the job, and it hasn't been just 3 years, because it was probably a number of months before you physically started the department, started the academy, that you applied for the position. Because to apply for a department, you submit your application, your resume, it could take up to a year or more before you even start the academy because of the oral interview process, the written test or background investigations. So your resume and application might be 4 years out of date or longer. And think about it. You've been on the job. The last thing you've been worrying about is your resume. That's human nature, because unless you've needed to update it, why update it? So I see a lot of those people that are like scrambling at the last minute, like, oh my God, I got to apply by Friday. People email me like this. Hey, Steve, I got to submit my application resume this Friday. And it's like Monday or Tuesday. And they're like, can you help me update it? And I'm like, well, just show it to me. I do that. I have a service. If you look at my website, I do help people upgrade, modernize their resumes. And sometimes I get the document. It's like, oh, dude, man, you're killing me here, Smalls. And I don't expect it to be perfection, and I don't expect people to have it dialed in. But what I usually see is that resume from 4 or 5 years ago, which is fine. But then it's like, what have you done since then? You've been on the job for 3 or 4 or whatever years. Now give me a list of those significant accomplishments, or give me a list of things that have been changed since you got hired. So the point is, it's not if, but when your promotional process will occur, because we know it's going to happen. Every department does it. Maybe some departments it's every 18 months, every year, every 2 years. It's going to happen. So the point is, if you're preparing for a promotional process, besides obviously preparing for the position, I get that, and preparing for the testing process itself, I get that. Make sure you take the time to, dust off the resume and even the application if you have to fill that out. Now, here's something to think about. The resume does not get you hired or promoted, nor does the application. So people go, why am I wasting all my time on the resume? Well, part of it's playing the game. I get that. But the application, most departments, even if you work for the department that you're applying for, you sometimes have to fill out another application. The good news is, if you haven't moved, there shouldn't be that much to update on the application. And you may go, what, I didn't save a copy of my application when I submitted it. Well, if you haven't got that memo by now, take note of that. Save a copy of everything, because especially resumes, applications, because the last thing you want to do is fill out an application for your captain's process that is different from, say, the one you used to get hired 4 or 5 years ago or more. Now, I don't think anybody in human resources or your chiefs are going to go back to look at and compare your applications and resumes to make sure you're not falsifying information, but you never know. I mean, that's why it's always good if you've saved a copy of that initial application, it should make the secondary, say, captain's test or engineer test so much easier because now it's just a matter of updating it. And now a lot of departments do everything online. We've been using an online application system for a number of years now, as do a lot of fire departments. It makes it easy because we've had people that the same application they used to get hired, now when it comes time for promotion, the application's already in the system. So now they just got to go in and update it. And that makes it so user friendly. But anyway, the application's a formality. Again, try to make sure it matches up what you submitted initially. And as for the resume, if you go to my website, code3firetraining.com, even if you don't hire me to update your resume, I do have a lot of free information on the free stuff link for resume preparation. Um, I'll talk more about resumes as time goes by, but for firefighter, engineer, captain positions, 1-page resume is fine. Battalion chief, 2 pages. If you're going for, say, division chief, deputy, assistant, fire chief, okay, I can get 3 pages. But again, that's just my personal opinion. But again, it don't matter. The resume or the application does not get you the position. You get yourself the position, meaning you can have everything great on paper where they go, man, this person's, they got all the training, education, and experience in the world. That's awesome. But it's the people skills that you've got to convince those panel members or the fire chief that, you know what? Yeah. So what? You got your 4-year degree, your master's degree. So what? You've been on the job 55 years. So what that you've got firefighter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it is. You're a jerk. You're an asshole. I mean, I say that bluntly, but again, especially the higher up you go up the ranks, especially when you touch into fire officer, excuse me, entry level fire officer positions such as lieutenant, and especially when you get into chief officer positions, battalion chief and above, it's the people skills, your characteristics that are going to get you that position in most cases. Every department's different, I get it. But again, don't wait to update your resume less than a week before the deadline. Because think about it. If you're stressing over your resume and your application a week before the deadline, you're wasting valuable time that you could be using to prepare for the testing process itself, as well as the testing, preparing for the position. And again, nothing good comes by cramming at the last minute. But if you have your application or resume up to date and ready to go, it's a stress. I mean, it makes it stress free that when that announcement comes out that, hey, applications for captain are due in 3 weeks, you're like, boom, perfect. All I got to do is just maybe update the date, dot my I's, cross my T's. I'm done with that. Whereas you watch your competitors, they're going to be stressing like ever. Oh my God, I got to get a resume together. Oh my God, I got an application together. Yeah, watch that. Don't be one of those folks. So it's pretty simple. It's not if, but when the next promotional process will be. Think about it. So don't wait to start preparing the things that are not the most fun to do, such as resumes or applications. Those aren't fun. I get it. But don't put off those things because nothing worse than having to do the unfun things at the last minute when you're all stressed and under the gun. So don't be that person. So as always, thank you very much for the gift of your time. My social media and contact information out here. Until the next episode, y'all take care, be safe, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day, everybody.